Cheese. Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to our masquerade honoring our outstanding secondary school Teachers of the Year. Our theme is quite fitting this year, considering we have all become familiar with wearing masks of a different kind. I am Teresa Weber, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources and Administrative Services, and your Mistress of Ceremonies for the 2020-2021 St. Charles Parish Public Schools Secondary Schools Teachers of the Year Banquet. Please join me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. We are all excited to be here, and I am glad we are all able to get together this year. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge our event sponsor, Shell Norco. Here with us tonight from Shell Norco are General Manager Tammy Little, and External Relations Manager Rochelle Touchard. Thank you both for being here with us tonight, and thank you for your support. At this time, I'd like to invite School Board President, Ms. Melinda Bernard, to the podium to give the welcome. Ms. Bernard.
I like this mess so much better. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for all joining us this evening for this very special occasion. The St. Charles Parish Public School System truly has the best teachers in the state of Louisiana. We typically gather once a year to honor the best of the best, our own Teachers of the Year. But as you know, this year we get to gather twice. And it is my honor to welcome all of you to this banquet and to introduce my fellow school board members in attendance. Please stand when I call your name. Vice President from District 8, Mr. Al Suffren. From District 1, Mr. Ellis Alexander. And from District 4, Mr. Sonny Savoy. On behalf of the school board, I would like to congratulate all 7 of our secondary school Teachers of the Year. Thank you, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Ms. Bernard. As you may have noticed in your program, the dinner portion of our evening will now commence. Please enjoy your meal, and we will resume with the program after dessert is served. hope everyone enjoyed their Mardi Gras themed courses. We will now resume this evening's program at this time. However, please feel free to continue eating at your leisure. The Teachers of the Year program is a national program designed to honor outstanding teachers from each state. On the local level, we meet annually to honor all of our Teachers of the Year and announce an elementary, middle, and high school teacher as the St. Charles Parish Teachers of the Year. All Teachers of the Year must complete an application with writing samples, be observed in the classroom, and be interviewed by a selection committee. While our selection committee members could not be here this evening due to our capacity limitation, we would like to still mention those who served on the middle and high school selection committees and recognize one who is in attendance with us this evening. Former Teachers of the Year, Angèle Bourgeois and Sammy Caluette. School system employees, Colleen Charles, Lysandra Gordon, Tamika Green, who is in attendance, and Mindy Van Hoven. And community representatives, Serena Lorette of River Parishes Community College and Garrett Monty of Quality Cleaning Equipment and Supply. We thank them for giving their time to select this year's middle and high school winners. School Board President Melinda Bernard and Superintendent Dr. Ken Ortling will present each Teacher of the Year with an engraved logo award. Please direct your attention to the screen to meet our middle school Teachers of the Year.
For me, to represent R.K. Smith Middle School as their Teacher of the Year is definitely an honor. The students that I teach are phenomenal. I feel like I learn as much from them as hopefully they learn from me every day. When my students look back on their time in my classroom, I really hope that they remember the enthusiasm that I brought into the classroom. I do truly love what I do. I love teaching. I love learning. So I myself am constantly learning new things. Compared to when I started teaching to where I am now, I'm a very different teacher, mainly because of some of the life experiences that I've had in the past 20 years. Having children of my own certainly has made me a different teacher and a better teacher. And then also the way that science is taught now is so different than the way it was taught when I was in school or even when I first became a teacher. Instead of telling the students, okay, this is what you need to know and this is what you need to think, you're helping them ask questions and figure out, okay, how do I think about this? And you know, even as a teacher, I don't always have the answers. So they're not always gonna have the answers, and that's okay, but look for the answers. When thinking about what inspires me to teach and to continue to teach, it's definitely the students. To see their enthusiasm for learning, to see when they have those light bulb moments that teachers love, when they get something, that's definitely what inspires me. So one of the things that probably has recently made the most impact in my teaching career and how I teach and what I teach was 2 years ago when I went to a summer program at NASA. I was selected to go and spend time at the Johnson Space Center. Something that came from that was really cool. I had one student at the time who was so obsessed with all things NASA. And so even though I didn't teach this student anymore, he would stop by my classroom almost daily and tell me about, oh, did you see that they're doing this and that they're doing this at NASA? So I was able to get one of the astronauts that we met had written a book for kids about questions kids ask. And so I got the book and I got him to sign it for this student. And so when I gave the book to the student, he was like, oh, that's really cool. And he opened it up and he saw that it was signed for him. He was floored. So out of all the stuff that I learned and did at NASA, that was really cool. But then seeing his excitement that like, oh my gosh, this astronaut wrote my name. And that was probably one of the coolest moments of teaching.
My students were so excited that I won, and many of them my teacher's never won Teacher of the Year before, and a lot of them said that I deserved it, which felt like, it pulled at my heartstrings. I do all this work, and as teachers, we don't always get to see like the fruits of our labor. So hearing students tell me, like, you deserve this, like, you're my favorite teacher, and them just being excited for me, I think it really shows me that like what I'm doing is right. Like I'm where I'm supposed to be, and that my students recognize that. They respect me, and they like me as their teacher. When students look back, I think I want for them to carry on with them, seeing the type of positive person I was, the caring person I was, wanting that for themselves, and to improve the world in the way that I help to try to improve them. I'm a different teacher now than when I started teaching. Definitely, I'm more inquisitive, I guess. My administrations will tell you, like, I'm always asking, like, hey, can you like look at this lesson? Can you help me with this? Can you tell me like what your thoughts of me doing this? And so I think like really wanting feedback and things like that, I think that's it can be daunting for some people because they may feel like they're just like constantly being evaluated. But for me, it's more like just trying to improve myself. I definitely think that being more empathetic, and knowing like how to build relationships with your students and stuff, I think that's definitely very helpful. I'm always thinking of my students and thinking about what are they doing right now? Are they okay in their homes and whatnot? Because a lot of times our students, their only constant is our classroom. And so I think it's something that inspires me to stay in the classroom and wanting to help students every day. I believe that in St. Charles Parish, and as a teacher, I really want students to take any opportunity they can to learn, and feel like the world is theirs, and so they can go out and accomplish anything. So I feel like there is no limit to what the future might look like for my students.
My inspiration for teaching, I think, is my mom and my family. I want to be the teacher that I want my own children to have. So I want to show that I care about my students. My mom also seeing the number of students who come back to her and say, you were my favorite teacher because you got it. You understood that it was hard for some of us and you were able to break it down. So I think just if I could be half the person or half the teacher that she's remembered to be, that would be fantastic. We see our class activities moving more towards working with products like Nearpod. I see the benefit as a teacher. I'm hoping our future will relax a little bit and that they can start having more social events and fun things at school. But I think technology is going to play a huge role in the future of our students. But the students I think are thriving in the Google Meets. What I have learned, and I think a positive that's come out of it, is some of those students who are hesitant to ask questions in class are actually asking the questions and are coming to the forefront, like those quiet ones that sit in the back that don't raise their hand unless I'm over their shoulder. But through technology and that little chat feature, the kids are more comfortable communicating through the technology. I hope they take away that I was caring, that I cared about not only their math education, but as them as a person. I hope that they also take on some math, but I just hope that they see me as someone who helped them grow as both a student and a person. My biggest fear as a new teacher was not to be perfect the first time around. Teachers make mistakes every day, and it's a matter of learning from those mistakes. I have a student who I think made the greatest impact on me. He, before he walked through the door, there was a stack of reports on how challenging he was, and this poor child, I think, had a lot to deal with at home. And seeing the success that he is today, I always have to remind myself that it's through the process that we see the greater reward, and just seeing the success that this student is today, I can't wait to see him cross the graduation stage next year.
So I'm a different teacher now from when I started because I've grown up a lot. I've gone through a lot of life experiences that have changed who I am as a teacher. I'm very open with my students about the fact that you have to go through struggles to sometimes grow as a person. I went through a personal battle with breast cancer in 2019, and that completely shook my world. When I tell my students about it, when I introduce myself, they're like, oh my gosh, that was so horrible. I was like, no, I absolutely would not change that in any way, because that made me tough, it made me grow, it made me more capable of being a better teacher for my students, because I went through tough times and I understood how to grow through it. As much as I love teaching American history, I love more instilling in them how to be a good person, to be a good citizen, to be a good human. And I want them to be good to others and also good to themselves. I try as much as I can to build up their confidence, because I know in middle school, that is the most difficult time when it comes to confidence. And just trying to explain to them that they're not alone in it and that things get better, they get easier, and you're gonna be able to grow through everything that you're going through. The moment that made the most impact to me was a 7th grade girl that I had who said that she needed to talk to me, that she had a lot of stuff that was weighing on her mind, and she pulled me aside and she was like, you are the first person I'm telling this to. She's like, I need you to know that I'm gay, and I have to say it to somebody, and I look at you like you're my mom here, and I feel the most comfortable telling you that. Like, a huge part for me as a teacher is building relationships. So her wanting me to be that first person she verbalized it to really was impactful to me, and it just validated that relationship that I work so hard to keep with all my students. I think that the future will be brighter for my students. As a social studies teacher, I feel like I am trying to educate them to be more open-minded in the way that they view the world, and I'm hoping that they are taking the things that I'm teaching them and learning how to be a better citizen and ultimately a better person. Teaching during a pandemic has made me an even tougher teacher, and even more capable teacher, because I had to improvise and I had to find ways to reach my students when I couldn't physically with proximity reach them. Obviously our school's gonna be prominent, but their mental health and their well-being, I feel like that's even more paramount right now, to be able to make sure that they have everything that they need, and that they sometimes just need a moment to like talk and unload. I had a resident teacher, January 2020 is when she started, and she just graduated in December. And I was like, this was the perfect year for you to be able to teach and train, because if you can survive this year, you can survive anything.
Our Teacher of the Year from R.K. Smith Middle School became a teacher to make a difference in the lives of children and to help shape the brilliant minds of the future. When asked what she would be if not a teacher, she responded with one word: wealthy. Ms. Green serves as a board member for the River Region Ballet and is active within her church. She enjoys reading, swimming, sewing, napping, watching musicals, spending time with family, and traveling. An avid reader, Ms. Green has 3 books currently on her bedside table: the Bible, Making Sense of the Bible by Adam Hamilton, and Una Out of Order by Margarita Montemor. If she were to have disguised herself for this evening's masquerade, you would find her dressed up as a unicorn. Ms. Green met her husband during high school and has been married for 23 years. They have 2 children, Sarah, who is a 9th grader at Hornville High School, and Claire, who is a 6th grader at J.B. Martin Middle School. Please join me in applauding R.K. Smith Middle School's Teacher of the Year, who is joining us from home via our live stream, Jennifer Green. Our Teacher of the Year for Albert Cammon Middle School became a teacher to inspire future generations to become lifelong learners, to challenge themselves, and to change the world. However, if not a teacher, he would have been a school psychologist. During his summer vacations, Mr. Ott loves to go on cruises or rent a cabin in the mountains to rest and relax. He enjoys playing board games and cards and binge watching nature documentaries. When asked about the book on his bedside table, he responded, "A book? Y'all have time to read?" In homage to one of the most famous masquerades of all time, Mr. Ott would disguise himself as the Phantom of the Opera if attending as a masquerade. His family members are his biggest supporters. His dad inspires his confidence, his mother inspires his selflessness, and his wife inspires his strides to become a better person than he was yesterday. Albert Cammon Middle School's Teacher of the Year, Randall Ott. Please come forward. Congratulations. Our Teacher of the Year from Harryhurst Middle School became a teacher to share her love for math and to influence her students' love for learning. However, if not a teacher, she would have been a full-time mom. Miss Rome enjoys reading, exercising, and watching her kids do what they love in what little spare time she has after coaching a dance team and teaching confirmation students. Her favorite place to go for vacation is the beach to do a lot of sitting, relaxing, and reading. On her bedside table, you will always find the book Jesus Calling, in addition to whatever book coworker Sammy Caluette recommends. If you were to see Miss Rome at a masquerade ball, you would see her wearing a formal black dress with an elaborate mask to resemble a butterfly. She is married to John Rome and has 3 daughters, 18-year-old Emma, 15-year-old Caroline, and 13-year-old Grace. Harryhurst Middle School's Teacher of the Year, Missy Rome. Our Teacher of the Year from J.B. Martin Middle School became a teacher to help students grow through all of the difficulties they face as a middle schooler and to inspire them to make the world a better place. However, if not a teacher, she would have still encouraged people to be kind to themselves and others as a counselor. In her spare time, Ms. Santos loves watching Yankees baseball, riding her bike, and listening to music. And during her summer vacations, she loves to travel and have new experiences with her family. Ms. Santos is currently reading Between Two Kingdoms, a memoir of the life interrupted by Suleika Jawad. That was good, huh? I did good? And speaking of kingdoms and kings, she would disguise herself as the person who portrayed the Goblin King in Labyrinth, David Bowie, if attending a masquerade. Ms. Santos has been married to her husband, Tony, of 13 years, and they have 3 kids, 7-year-old Piper, 3-year-old Kenley, and 3-year-old Leland. J.B. Martin Middle School's Teacher of the Year, Katie Santos. Now, let's redirect our attention to the screen to meet our high school Teachers of the Year.
I hope that my students take with them that I cared, that it wasn't lip service. I want them to know that if nobody else cared, I know Ms. Bonifines cared. I think back, one of my highlights as a teacher was this student, and he was a tough cookie. And I remember I took him outside, I'm like, what did I do? I have no idea why you're so angry. And he's like, I'm not, he won't even look you in the eyes. Every day he's tough, every day, but he was really smart. He was really good at math. And I remember working with him. We got him out of math, that was geometry. And then 2 to 3 years later, I think he was graduating early. He came back and he's telling me he's graduating early. I'm graduating in December. And I'm like, oh, congratulations. And he was like, I knew that if I told you, you would care that I was graduating. And it like melted my heart, because there's so many people who you just like, do you realize that I actually care? I need them to know that, but that's all school is a small piece of a much bigger picture, and that Miss B cared as long as you were here and in this microcosm, this little small piece of the world. Oh, my husband inspires me to teach. He kind of got me onto this teaching journey. I was working in business because I wanted to eventually be the CFO of a company. I was like, I'm gonna be the CFO. My husband's like, your personality's not really CFO-ish. Yeah, yes it is, it is. Not only did he encourage me to try teaching, to see the passion that he has for his students, and for that same reason, because he cares. He is my biggest cheerleader, encouraging, inspiration for all things teaching. My memory of being in a classroom was sit and get. Like, you sit down and the teacher goes over the notes, and occasionally you might play a game like a Jeopardy, and then you go back and you take the notes and you go home and you study, and that's what teaching is. In my mind, I have an idea of what the teacher of the year looks like, but I am like, let's learn, I'm not like the type A, very, very organized, here's my lesson plan for the next 3 years. And so when they walked in and they're like, we're so happy you applied. You won, you deserve it. You've deserved it for years. We appreciate you. But to be acknowledged not only from students, but from your peers and from your administration, and for everybody to come together and say, you represent Hahnville. For me, that was huge. It affirmed that we appreciate what you're doing. You're doing the right things. I would like to see some of my students in college going on, picking a career, going into being doctors and lawyers and nurses and all the fun things. I would like to see some of my students be teachers. I would like you to have enough good teachers along the way that you feel like I want to be to someone else what these teachers were to me.
This is such an absolute honor to represent and have an opportunity to represent Destrehan High School as Teacher of the Year. When I actually started teaching these courses at Destrehan, which is graphic design and web design, I knew absolutely nothing about either one of the courses. So I was just kind of one of those things of where they throw you in the deep end and it's like sink or swim, but I swam and I was able to completely develop my curriculum from the ground up and make sure that every project, every assessment, every assignment that I did with my kids was fulfilling, was engaging, and was basically something that would be of interest to them and can help them down the road with future skill sets. I have so many kids that have gone on to do jobs in graphic design. They've gone on to major in college. They've gone on to do technology jobs. Some of them are managing their own social media pages. It literally is so heartwarming to get those cards, those texts, those emails from those students. They're like, Miss Lee, thank you so much for everything. And it's so humbling. And it literally brings tears into my eyes. Like, every day you get to touch these kids' lives and impact them in such a positive way, and you hope that that is carried on with them throughout everything. And so when they come back and they reassure you with that, it is like a feeling like nothing else. Their success is my success, and those are impactful moments for me, and just being able to connect with our Destrehan family. Even though I've been doing this for 12 and a half years, it has not gotten old to me. I love waking up and coming, I don't call it a job, coming to school, like it's still school for me. I'm a lifelong learner. And the seasoned teacher inside of me has learned so many things on technology, classroom management, engagement, and just really continuously focusing on making students like lifelong learners and have a love for learning new software and learning new things. When my students look back, I just hope that they can take with them the fact that someone loved them and cared about them and truly wanted to do everything to make them successful. Every day it's my goal to make sure that that's the person that they see inside of me, that they know that I absolutely 100% am in their corner. I want them to be their best self every day. They may not remember the tests they took. They may not remember all of the projects, but hopefully there are some things in there that they can take away with them, knowing that there was somebody at Destrehan High School who truly cared about me and wants me to be successful or wanted me to be successful and have a great career or college preparation.
My biggest fear when I started teaching was looking like a fool standing in front of students teaching them, because I didn't really have any experience teaching young people. I hadn't gone to school to be a teacher. I'd gone to school to, learn about history and philosophy, and I'd gone as work. I've always worked in restaurants, so there was teaching involved, but it was typically a peer who knew a little bit about the industry. But getting in front of young people who had never been in this industry and who wanted to learn about the industry made me nervous from the fact that they were young. Was I going to look like an old foolish guy standing in front of them trying to get them to learn something? Whereas, today, throughout the years, I would say, although I feel like I'm a more confident teacher because I know my curriculum now and I know how to get that across to young people, I still lack a little confidence in that you never feel like you're doing a great job as a teacher. You're always sort of judging yourself as, not doing as good a job as you could. And I also think about all of the people I teach with who have really affected the way I teach and who have actually made me a better teacher than I could ever have made myself. So I kind of think that this nomination is sort of a reward to me, but also to the staff I work with, and a recognition of all they've done to help make me a better teacher. When my students leave me and go on in life, whether it's a job or college or something like that, whatever their choices may be, I always hope they take from me, and I really try to inculcate this in them, is that I really care about you. I want you to be successful, and whatever you do, it doesn't have to be culinary arts, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters is what matters to you. So I do really mention to them throughout the year that I do care about them. I really want them to be successful, and anything I can do to help them to be successful when they leave school, they should come to me for if they need my help. The thing that's really stood out to me and made an impact on my life as a teacher has been the team members who have, after they've gone, recognized me for having made a difference in their life. I remember I received an invitation to attend an event that the students had picked their favorite teacher to attend, and it was a banquet, and that really, kind of hit home and made me feel good in my choice in being a teacher for a career, and just also made me feel good about the impact that maybe I had on at least some of my students' lives. A lot of my students are there for different reasons. Some of them are there to learn how to cook and go to culinary school, and I believe those ones that have chosen that path will be successful in the industry. I have a long history of students having left my class and becoming successful in the industry in one way or the other. Or maybe like the ones who are there to learn how to cook, it will just make them better cooks for their personal life, to challenge yourself and be creative in the kitchen, to try to do different things for your family, even for dinner on a nightly basis. My students, I think all of them will be pretty successful in life if they find that thing that they want to do. They're all really intelligent people. They're all great with other people. Their social skills are really good, and they're really nice people, all of them. Once again, being successful, just finding that thing that makes you want to be successful.
Before we move on to introduce our high school teachers of the year, I'd like to mention when introducing Mr. Ott's family, Mr. Ott's husband, who is not able to attend tonight, he wanted to make sure we all knew how much he inspires Mr. Ott to be a better person today than he was yesterday. Our teacher of the year from Hornville High School became a teacher after working in corporate America and deciding she was in the wrong profession. She tried teaching and fell in love with it. If not a teacher, she would have been a stay-at-home mom or worked in HR, at Starbucks, or at Disney World. When she is not coaching track and field, Ms. Bonifants can be found on Instagram as an influencer. She enjoys shopping, reading, exercising, eating, brunching, and hanging out with friends and family. During the summer, she loves to go to the beach, hang out at the pool, and visit her family. The book currently on Ms. Bonifant's bedside table is Around the Clock Mom, Make the Most of Your God-Given Time. If she were to have disguised herself for this evening's masquerade, you would find her dressed up as Princess Tiana. Ms. Bonifants has been married for 12 years and has a 9-year-old boy, an 8-year-old boy, and a 6-year-old girl, and 2 dogs. Hornville High School's Teacher of the Year, Brittany Bonifants. Our Teacher of the Year from Destrehan High School became a teacher to encourage and inspire children to follow their dreams and reach their goals. However, if not a teacher, she would have definitely been a news anchor on Channel 4 WWL-TV. Miss Lee volunteers to help create urban gardening projects in the lower 9th Ward. In her spare time, she enjoys trying new recipes, going for walks with her son, spending time with family and friends, shopping, traveling, trying new restaurants, and watching movies, especially from the Marvel, DC, or Star Wars franchises. During the summer, she can be found on a Florida beach for sun and relaxation. While the Bible can always be found on her bedside table, Miss Lee is currently reading Molder of Dreams by Guy Dude. Her masquerade disguise would be reminiscent of the Victorian era, with a mask to include feathers representing birds or fairies. She has been with her husband Felton for about 15 years, and they have a 14-year-old son, Malachi. Destrehan High School's Teacher of the Year, Jamie Jo Lee. Our Teacher of the Year from the Satellite Center became a teacher to share his excitement about cooking and the restaurant business with young people who don't see themselves doing a regular 9-to-5 job. However, if not a teacher, he would be a chef or a restaurateur. A former youth baseball coach, Mr. Phelan, enjoys running, cycling, and reading. During his summer vacation, he loves to visit the beach, and some years travels to New England to visit his family. The Ghost, The Secret Life of CIA Spy Master James Jesus Angleton is the book on his bedside table. And just as a CIA agent must be a master of disguise, Mr. Phelan would disguise himself as Nick Bottom from A Midsummer Night's Dream if he were to attend a masquerade. His wife, Renee, is the librarian at J.B. Martin Middle School, and Mr. Phelan has 2 sons currently at LSU, 22-year-old Patrick, who is studying chemical engineering, and 20-year-old Paul, who is studying criminology and is interested in attending law school. Satellite Center's Teacher of the Year, Patrick Phelan. we have now come to the most exciting moment of the evening, the naming of the 2020-2021 St. Charles Parish Middle and High School Teachers of the Year. Each winning teacher will receive a Chromebook donated by Cox Communications, an engraved crystal vase.
We are ready. And we did that knowing that it was going to be a struggle and it was going to be a challenge. But let me tell you, the plans that were put in place at the schools and the teachers, the investment in our kids, each and every day to overcome those challenges and provide a high-quality education for our students since August 6th has been absolutely extraordinary. And thank you for that. Because what you all have done is held the future of our students in the palms of your hands. And you didn't back down when the challenges were put in front of you. And we all thought about it, but you didn't. Thank you for that. On behalf of our students and our families, thank you. And this is a wonderful night to celebrate you. So thank you. Now I'll get back to the script. Look in the eyes of trouble with a smile. Extend your hand and do not be afraid. 'Tis but a friend who comes to a masquerade. And test your faith and courage for a while. Fly and he follows fast with threat and jeer. Shrink and he deals hard, blow on stinging blow. But bid him welcome as a friend. And lo, the jest is off, the mask will disappear. The Masquerade by American author and poet Ella Wheeler Wilcox may have been published in 1911, but its relatability has never been greater than this school year. Listen again. Look into the eyes of trouble with a smile. Extend your hand and do not be afraid. August 6, 2020, you, our teachers, did just that. Knowing the importance of education for our students and their possible nervousness, you greeted them with smiling eyes and outstretched high fives and elbows. 'Tis but a friend who comes to masquerade and test your faith and courage for a while. Yes, our students, but as our elementary teachers like to say, our friends, they were nervous. But I know you were anxious as well. While you knew every possible precaution was put into place, you still had to practice faith and courage for the betterment of our students. And look where your faith has taken. Not one school closed and open every day since August 6th. Fly, and he follows fast with threat and jeer. Shrink, and he deals blow on stinging blow. As professionals in your craft, you were able to find that delicate balance of providing a high-quality, engaging learning experience while mitigating the risk. But bid him welcome as a friend, and lo, the jest is off, and the mask will disappear. Our teachers embraced the challenges. The pandemic often provided us blow after blow. You welcomed the opportunity to reimagine education. You found solutions to make the school year possible, and in the process, have discovered ways to improve the education we provide, not just this year, for years and years and years to come. We may have had to wear a mask that partially hid our faces throughout the year, but we have not hidden from our challenges, but have embraced them, changing them to opportunities for our students and families. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of the St. Charles Parish Public School System, our students, our families, our board members, our administrators, this parish, this state, and this country. You have led the way with courage, dedication, perseverance, and most importantly, commitment to each and every one of our students' lives. And thank you for making sure every student matters and every moment counts. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'd also like to say thank you to the people who worked to make tonight's ceremony so special. Please hold your applause until everyone's been recognized. I'd like to once again thank Shell Norco, Miss Tammy Little, and Miss Rochelle Conscient-Touchard for attending tonight and providing their generous donation in sponsoring tonight's event, and Cox Communications as well. Thank you for being here. My wife was about to clap, by the way, I caught her. Our Mistress of Ceremonies, Miss Teresa Weber. Satellite Center Advanced TV Broadcasting Team members and facilitator, Miss Sam Clement, for productive assistance, and her two outstanding students from the Satellite Center who are live streaming right now. Public Information Department, Miss Stevie Crevetta, Director. Coordinators, Regina McMillan and Mason Dauphin. And I want to give credit to Regina for writing that speech. That was her speech. I write most of my speeches, but I did this one. I was like, that's too good. We're keeping that. It was excellent. I made a little bit of my own, but it was her. Total credit goes to her. And Senior Secretary, Miss Stacy Dejon. They did a wonderful job setting this event up. So please join me in thanking all these people who worked so hard to make tonight a special memorial event. Strong Start 2020, a branding that we will not soon forget. The word start indicates a beginning and an impetus. But as you know, our journey as teachers never ends. Even one day when we officially retire, we do not stop ever being a teacher. And I think you heard some of that tonight. It's in our blood, it remains very deep in our hearts. But that doesn't mean we don't need a recharge along the way. And I think we need a lot of recharging after this year. But I hope each of you have experienced a recharge for your calling through this Teacher of the Year experience. And as a small token of our appreciation and to help you recharge your tools and resources in this semi-virtual year, each of our 7 secondary school teachers of the year is being given a charger for their personal use. And to close my comments, I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you and look forward to the day soon when I can reiterate the closing of Ellen Wheeler Wilcox's poem that just as off, the mask will disappear. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Masks are worn at a masquerade to hide our identities. Before we leave this evening, I'd like to ask everyone to direct their attention to the screen one last time for a glimpse of our teachers' true identities behind their masks.
But now having to motivate students on days that they're not physically in your class and to remind them, hey, this is really important stuff.
I found this on the web.
Sorry, Siri. Want me to start over? Yeah.
Okay, can we do that again? Okay.
But we are, I feel like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here.
I definitely feel as though, like I've said before, and well, I haven't said to you before.
No. Okay, wait. Hold on. Sorry.
The lives of your students.
Okay, I think I have hair on my lip, and that's why, yes, I did. I know that's gonna go in the gag reel. Okay, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So my hope for seeing my students, which was the question, right? That was the question? Where do I expect to see?
Okay. As a new, no, wait, what was the question? How do I grow? See, I'm not good at this.
So the trend that my students love that I didn't understand for the longest time was TikTok. And they constantly talked about TikToks and they were doing TikTok dances and all this. And I was like, why are you so obsessed with this? But then the pandemic happened and I downloaded TikTok. So now I'm like, oh yeah, I know that dance. I can do that dance with you.
So a modern trend among my students is something that I observe daily when I am up at the front of the board teaching or walking around, and there's a student doing an assignment and they're like doing this like the whole time. And so I know that it's TikTok.
And they love making TikToks. And so I joined TikTok, but not to make a TikTok. I'm still just a, viewer of TikTok, so to speak.
I feel like they say I have a very TikTok personality, but I don't. I have tried to get the videos because I understand Instagram, and I'm like, they have reels, and reels are supposed to be like TikTok, and I'm like, but I don't, no, so there's that.
I do not get TikTok. I've watched a few TikTok videos. They look fun for the people that are doing them. They're fun for the viewers. I just don't understand the purpose of TikTok.
So my husband, he made fun of me. He's like, you're a little old for TikTok. And I was like, no, it's really, it's just so funny. It's the nicest part of my day to be able to unwind. So he downloaded it. And yesterday he's scrolling through, and my 3-year-old son, you hear him in the back going, oh no, oh no.
I don't get all the stuff that that they're talking about. They also talk in or texting. I don't understand some of the abbreviations, and I don't know. I don't like not using correct punctuation and capitalization and grammar.
Yeah, or hit the whoa. They're like, Ms. Green, can you hit the whoa? And I'm like, yeah. And then so after one student taught me, and then they're like, what? And so,
I'm okay with the music. Like I've always said, you're becoming old when you start complaining about young people's music, so I purposely don't complain about young people's music.
I don't know if it's a trend, but it's the walking around and not wanting to crease their shoes. They walk around just like waddling like ducks, and just so they don't crease their shoes. I just don't really understand that.
And with that, our 2021 Secondary School Teachers of the Year Masquerade comes to a close. Teachers, please take home your award, mask, gift, flower, centerpiece, and picture. However, please leave the picture easel on your table. On behalf of the St. Charles Parish School Board and its employees, I would like to thank everyone for joining us. I ask that everyone please allow all of our Teachers of the Year to come forward to the podium for press photos. Teachers, please bring your awards with you to the front for the photos. Thank you, and have a safe drive home.